Welcome guys to John's Football Channel. This is your post review of Netherlands to Japan 2. Very disappointing game from Netherlands, knowing that they were just about to get 3 points and now at the last minute they were actually able to drop off the momentum and not actually kill the game earlier, and make sure that 3 points was absolutely guaranteed for them going into the next game. And now they have to settle for a draw. It's not the worst result in the world for them, but I think as it goes on now, it's going to get sticky going into the next couple of games in order to ensure that they actually top the group, to ensure that they get probably one of the easier teams to actually verse on the night, going probably into the quarterfinals and semis. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the lineups. Starting off with Japan, they obviously went Sasaki in goal, Watanabe as the left centre back, as the right centre back, and then Tahashi as the centre back, and then Ito on the left centre back, going in a back three, and then in the midfield, left wing back, they went with Kamara, and then Kamada and Sano, and then on the right wing back they went Dun, and ahead of them they went with Kudo, and then Maedea. And ahead of them they went with Udo as the striker. Then if we take a look at Netherlands, they went with Van der Beuren as a goalkeeper, Dumfries as the right back, Van Necke, Van Dijk as the centre backs, Van der Ven as the left centre back, and then Gravenberch, De Jong and Reinders as the midfield, and then Summervale, Mullen and Gakpo as the striking force for Netherlands. Then basically, if we had to analyze and see what happened, basically in the first half, not much happened. Leading into the second half, nice one from Gravenberch. He was able to get a cross into the box. Van Dijk ends up getting at the end of it and actually hands it towards the far corner of the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper wasn't able to get there. Does land up hitting the post and going in. Very good goal from Netherlands, and a very good goal from Van Dijk. Easy goal for him to score, knowing that one of his strengths are headering. He's a tall lad, hence why he was able to get there among all the other players around him. And then not long after that, 7 minutes after, we end up seeing Japan striking back. They end up striking back with Kudo as the assist, and then Kamada lands up getting the ball on the edge of the box, lands up feinting one of the Netherlands players, and ends up putting it in between his legs to go into the back of the net. Obviously surprising the goalkeeper with that much pace, and ended up beating him in his first post. So very good goal, very fast goal like that. I think when it went in, no one expected it to go as quick as it did, and I think hence why it caught the goalkeeper off guard. Gravenberch lands up doing another very good break from the midfield, going into the attacking half of the game. With Summervale ends up playing it on the line, and then I think it was Dumfries who ends up making the run on the overlap. I think drawing one of the defenders with him, that caused there to be an opening in the box, and Summervale ends up taking a shot at goal and ends up putting it into the goals, making it 2-1 on the night. And I think at this stage, Netherlands presume that they think, okay, no, it's 2-1, game's done. There's not much game left. There's not much chances left in the game for Japan to actually get back. It was very quiet game. Not much you could really say among the two teams. They weren't really fighting. There was not much intensity from the game. From time to time there was, but not overall. You'd expect Netherlands to actually dominate and actually really go for them, like they know that they deserve it. But it felt like Netherlands were around maybe playing with 50% of their natural intake, and actually leaving the gas. I'm not quite sure why. Me personally, I wouldn't have done so. I would have actually trying to hurt Japan from the get-go and actually get the goal in the second half, like they did. As soon as Van Dijk scored their first, they should have actually kicked into gear and said, no, let's go get the second. Let's actually make sure that it actually happens, so that they actually have a very good gap in case like Japan, what they did, and then end up scoring. But now, when Japan scored their first goal, and then Netherlands scored again, they should have said, no, let's go for another after the 64th minute and actually striked and actually made sure that it made it 3-1 on the night to make sure that Japan were completely beaten and actually made sure that they are definitely getting no points from this game. And then we took a look, there was some subs between the 70th and 80th minutes of the game. And then surprisingly, they end up getting a corner and ends up getting it into the box. And a very good goal from Dali Kamada, who ends up getting at the end of the goal and putting it into the corner of the goalkeeper. Obviously, the goalkeeper did touch it, pushing it a bit higher than he should have. He supposed to have his hands more tight and fixed on the ball to actually bury it out of the box and out of the goals. But he was unable to do so and ends up making it 2-2, and ends up meaning that Japan go home with a draw. And I think it was very, very disappointing, obviously knowing that Netherlands could have done more and they didn't. And obviously this goal came in the 80th minute, not giving much time for any changes and any comeback from the Netherlands. And then obviously we know that they did bring on some subs, the likes of Timber, Toyosha, and then Ake, Bobley, and all of these players. But obviously that didn't really do much for Netherlands' point of view. I suppose for Japan, they did bring on one or two players that probably influenced the game and actually made the reason why they were actually able to get the result and actually get the draw in the end. And obviously a very, very good game from Reinberg. He was able to actually hurt the team and actually be a nuisance for Japan. There was moments where he actually did something, and I was very, very surprised to actually see him as one of the players to actually make the difference. I actually, when I saw the liners, I actually was in the mindset of expecting a bit more from Reinders, knowing that Reinders is a bit more level of intensity, knowing that he comes from Man City, he would have that mentality of, no, let's get a win, let me push. But I suppose maybe he sees it as nice away from Man City and away from Pep. He doesn't have to push as hard, and I think maybe that's what actually hurt him in the end. I think that there's no one to worry him, no one to correct him, no one to keep him on his toes, and then probably that's why he let himself go. If you try to analyze Reiner's game, probably one of his worst performances, I would say. The only opportunity I remember him having was a cross. I think it was for the first goal for Van Dijk. There was a cross on the left hand side of the box. He lands up putting it in, but it doesn't even beat the first man. And then I think they end up recirculating the ball, and then it ends up going to Gravenberch, and he ends up putting it in for Van Dijk to get the goal. So let me know down below what you guys think, but that's how I see it. I see a very, very decent performance from both teams, but no one really wanted it on the night. Probably Japan did, but you could say they probably don't have enough personnel in their team to actually make a difference against Netherlands. If I quickly take a look at obviously the stats for this game, we know that Netherlands had 60% ball possession, while as Japan had 40. Shots on target were very fair. Shots on target, Netherlands had 6, Japan had 3. Just shows you that Japan were more, if you look at it like this, they were probably more clinical than Netherlands for this game. And then if you look at fouls, really the same as well, and corners as well, also 1-1 for them as well. Not much you could say on the corners. And then obviously, as it stands now in their group, Sweden on 3 points, Japan on 1, Netherlands on 1, and then Tunisia on 0 going into the next round. And so far Sweden are going through and Japan just behind them. So let me know down below what you guys think. It will be very, very surprising if Netherlands don't pull through and actually don't start getting some momentum and getting some wins under their belt to ensure that they actually qualify and actually go through between the two positions. We do know that there's a chance that they could go through position number 3, but obviously no team wants to rely on that. So we'll soon see what actually happens and how things will be done. So yeah, guys, this is my post review to Netherlands to Japan 2. Peace.